Convention was done, and it was including 27 countries, including India. At that time, there was a requirement for us to amend our bill a little bit, and once that convention was done in 1919, another act was brought in, which was the Indian Aircraft Act in 1934, which took into account all the discussions that happened during that convention. And after that, in 1944, there was the Chicago Convention. And the Chicago Convention promulgated another body, which was the International Civil Aviation Organization. That became the premier body, which is still existent till now, and it consists of 193 member states. And these 193 member states, they cooperate together and they share their skies to their mutual benefit, promoting sustainable growth and socio-economic prosperity wherever these aircrafts fly. So right now, the International Civil Aviation Organization is the body which kind of suggests all the member countries on how to regulate the airspaces and how to cooperate with each other, how to navigate from one place to another. These are some of the recommendations based on discussion with these 193 countries. They do it. And while these discussions happen and they keep recommending all the 193 member countries, in our country, India, right from 1934 when the act originated, the existing act which originated, it's already been 90 years. In these 90 years, the act has been amended 19 times. 19 new sections came into place, and 2 sections were repealed. So a total of 21 times the act has been amended. And while the process of doing all these amendments, whenever an amendment came in, everything was put in bits and pieces into the act. Now, what did it lead to? There are a lot of redundancies, a lot of inconsistency, and a lot of disorganization happened within the original act itself. And now the International Civil Aviation Organization, which keeps auditing all the requirements, all the rules, regulations, the acts that any country has, it has recommended to India that why don't you look at your principal legislation once, because there are a lot of activities and a lot of inconsistencies happening. So why don't you come up again so that there is no redundancy happening in the principal act itself, and that becomes the base for us on bringing us this new amendment on new act, which is the Bharatiya Vayuyan Videyak. And while we are bringing this act, the purpose what we have done here is we have organized everything. Now, under Indian Civil Aviation, we have certain bodies. We have DGCA, which is the Director General for Civil Aviation. We have BCAS, which is the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. AIB, Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. And there are central government also which makes its own legislations regarding the civil aviation. So if you look at the new act bill that we have brought in, there are clear sections made for the powers of each of these bodies. So there is a clear demarcation and a clear indication on what each body has to do. And we have entirely organized whatever was there in the earlier act, and we have totally organized it and presented it in a much better manner, which the ICAO also recommended to us in this. And on top of that, as we are talking about civil aviation, I'd like to present the House with some of the statistics also on how the growth has happened in civil aviation in the last 10 years. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. Each and every issue regarding civil aviation, I'm willing to discuss on it, but I'll keep my purview regarding the bill in the beginnings. And if you talk about the civil aviation growth figures, after Narendra Modi ji has become the Prime Minister of this country, and you would have heard him constantly say also, when he talks about the Indian growth, he wants the Indian aviation also to assist the growth of India, this thing. And the number of airports, which is staggering number, 74 airports we had in 2014, and no other country in the world has achieved this kind of success where we have doubled from 74 to the almost 157 airports in the country, sir. This is a huge and staggering number, which surprises the best of the countries in the world also. And if you look at the domestic air passenger traffic, what was to be 67 million in 2014, it is 153 million right now, which is more than doubled also. And the number of aircrafts that were there, the fleet size used to be 400 in 2014, and now in 10 years we have made it to 813. This also we have doubled. And there are many other aspects which have doubled, which have improved. I'll talk about it. It has not doubled. Airfares have not doubled, that much I can say right now, and I'll talk about it also. Sir, regarding
Please.
regarding
Mr. John Britas,
regarding
please.
the growth of civil aviation, I have presented it to you some of the basic stats which give us a look into the industry on how it has improved. But today we are seeing civil aviation as not just the basis of these numbers. We are not saying that, and when we talk about aviation, it is how many airports we have, how many passengers we are increasing. This we are wanting to deep dive into this aspect. The growth that we have observed is just the tip of the iceberg, and we believe civil aviation has a lot of potential to drive the economy of the whole country.